Have you ever wondered why the Roman shield had such a specific shape? The answer lies in Roman military strategy. The scutum, the rectangular shield used by the legions, went far beyond simple protection. In this video, you'll understand how this seemingly straightforward object directly influenced combat methods and the effectiveness of Roman troops on the battlefield. Together, let's discover what truly made the scutum an essential piece in Rome's warfare. The adoption of the scutum by the Romans began around the late 4th century BC, during a period of military reforms that reshaped the Roman army. During the wars against the Samnites, the Romans gradually abandoned the round shield, clypeus, typical of the hoplite formation, and began using a more curved oval shield adapted to maneuver-based combat. This new model would evolve over the centuries into the rectangular curved form, more widely adopted from the 1st century BC onward, that would come to define the legions of the imperial period. The scutum was the standard shield used by Roman legionaries throughout the centuries of the Roman army's expansion and consolidation. Unlike the round shields common in other cultures, it had a rectangular, slightly curved shape, measuring approximately 120 centimeters tall by 60 centimeters wide. It was constructed from layers of pressed wooden planks covered with fabric or leather, reinforced with metal edges. At its center was the umbo, a rounded metal protrusion, used both to deflect enemy blows and to push opponents back in combat. The shield's curvature wasn't merely aesthetic. It partially enveloped the soldier's body, providing additional protection from side attacks and enabling the legionary to maintain a stable footing while advancing. Its size, large enough to cover from shoulder to knee, offered comprehensive defense without compromising mobility. The weight was well balanced. Despite being sturdy, the shield had to be carried over long distances, which required a balance between durability and lightness. More than individual protection, the scutum was designed for collective use. When soldiers stood side by side, their shields formed a continuous and formidable barrier. This combination of practical design and collective strategy was crucial to the effectiveness of the legions in close-quarters combat. The scutum protected the individual soldier, but its true value became clear when used collectively. Each shield followed a uniform standard, allowing for nearly perfect alignment side by side. A single legionary could already cover most of his body effectively. However, when several marched shoulder to shoulder, this effect multiplied dramatically. The legions employed this tactic to form mobile barriers. The front line became a solid wall. Aligned shields protected the entire bodies of soldiers in the first row. Soldiers in the second row lifted their shields overhead, creating protective cover from above. This formation was known as the testudo, or tortoise, due to its resemblance to a shell. It was particularly useful when advancing under arrow fire, during sieges, or in hazardous approaches. Such a formation demanded discipline and rhythm. Each man needed to know precisely when to advance, when to halt, and when to yield space. If one shield moved out of place, it created a gap, endangering everyone. More than just personal protection, the scutum was part of a collective mechanism. It organized the unit, maintained alignment, and strengthened cohesion. In a Roman legion, victory didn't come from individual strength alone. It was the collective effort, and the shield was the point of connection between the individual soldier and the unified force. The scutum was more than just a defensive barrier. It could also be used offensively. At the center of its surface was a metal protrusion called the umbo, designed not only to deflect blows but also to deliver impact. The legionary could use it to push, unbalance, or strike the opponent directly, creating an opening for an attack with the gladius, the standard short sword. This technique was common in close-quarters combat. Even before drawing the blade, the soldier advanced with the shield. The force of the umbo could break an enemy formation or force an opponent to retreat. The pressure applied didn't rely on individual strength, but on the synchronized movement of the front line. When legionaries advanced with their shields tightly aligned, every step was coordinated. The enemy was steadily pushed back, losing ground bit by bit. It was a disciplined advance, slow, deliberate, and difficult to stop. This practice also had a psychological effect. The sound of metal plates, the rhythmic beat of sandals, the silence of the soldiers, all contributed to a growing sense of threat. Victory wasn't only about overpowering the enemy physically, it was also about wearing them down emotionally. The scutum was more than a shield. It was a tool of pressure, a tactical instrument that acted even before the sword was drawn. The scutum was not just a defensive object. It was part of a complete system, designed to function efficiently on the battlefield. Each shield followed a strict standard, the same height, curvature, and structure. This standardization allowed soldiers to be trained uniformly, reducing alignment errors during combat. The reasoning behind this model was practical. A shield that fit precisely beside another created a cohesive barrier, difficult to break through. And if one shield was damaged, another identical one could replace it without compromising the formation. Mass production also sped up the preparation of new troops, crucial during extended military campaigns. Material choice was also strategic. Layers of pressed wood reduced weight while maintaining strength. Metal edges protected against splintering and repeated impact. The outer layer of leather helped preserve the wood's integrity under sun, rain, or cold. The scutum was also integrated with the rest of the soldier's equipment. It worked in coordination with the short sword, helmet, body posture, and even the marching step. Nothing was done at random. Each piece served a specific role within a larger system, and the shield stood at the center of that structure. As the centuries passed, especially from the 3rd century onward, the scutum began to disappear. Wars changed, enemies changed, and the Roman army evolved with them. A lighter, oval-shaped shield came to dominate the late legions. The use of the scutum was gradually abandoned, as mobility became more important than rigid formation. Yet the impact of the scutum endured. For centuries, it symbolized the collective strength of an army that advanced as one, shield to shield, step by step. If you enjoyed this content, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. There's already another video waiting for you on the screen. See you next time.